Hi, I'm Zoya.
And I'm Reema.
Subscribe to Siddharth Kannan's YouTube channel now.
Lady power, girl power, Nari Shakti, the Archies gang is here. Hello Zoya, कैसे हैं आप?
Nice to meet you.
Hello Reema. यार देख एक जमाने में एक टर्मिनोलॉजी होता ना सलीम जावेद साहब, तो आपको लगता है कि न्यू एज में जोया और रीमा की जोड़ी does that कभी कभार स्ट्राइक होता है?
नहीं. I mean, I don't think that we are anywhere close to what they did. They were very special. उनके पहले कोई नहीं आया, उनके बाद कोई नहीं आएगा. I don't think we are anywhere close.
Yeah, I agree with Zoya.
Yeah,
I mean, the impact they had, and they still have, and the kind of, that they're still out there. Like, they've permeated popular culture, popular imagination. They've given exponentially more hits than anybody else.
And in a pan-India way, that we are nowhere close.
Yeah.
But if I look at it, right, do both of you read each other like a book now because you worked so much together? Like, you know what's on Reema's mind, Reema knows what's on Zoya's mind. Has it reached that point of bond with both of you?
No, not really. Not when you're writing, because if we knew each other that well, then we wouldn't need each other on a script. If I knew what she's going to think or she knew what I was going to think, we won't need to write together. But I think the beauty of writing with somebody that's different and has a very different background from what you have, but at the same time has the same values and the same goals as you, is very good. I think that's how we align, because we are very different, we come from very different spaces, but we want the same things out of the story.
How do both of you really push each other? Like, how do you push the envelope with each other? How do you make sure that the other is not complacent, the other is like on their toes? Do you do that consciously?
Zoya keeps me on my toes, I think.
Yeah, I think
but I think we are, there's a lot of constructive criticism to each other and to each other's work.
Also, I'm a bit of a compulsive, I'm a bit of...
She's a workaholic.
A little bit. Like, I'm compulsive with writing and I'm compulsive with ideas, and I think what I need to do is like take a break, which she knows how to do, and I think it's very good.
I have a lot of distractions and...
No. Her life is a little more balanced than mine, and I need to learn that. And but I'm constantly calling her up with something new, and she's like, I'm not interested. I want to take a break now. I don't want another idea.
No, I know that every morning within the first 1 hour, I'm going to get a call from Zoya, and either it's a new idea for a film or a show, or then it's a new vertical at Tiger Baby that she thinks we should create. And I'm just like, please go back to sleep.
So basically, the person that needs to be pushed is me into a life that's a little more balanced.
You're sounding a lot like my lady version, yeah. I feel like I'm talking to myself, really honestly. Like, I'm also a workaholic, but I'm now trying to find that balance.
No, I've decided that next year, 2024, it's going to be I'm going to shift my gear.
So when on the sets of the Archies, right? How is it? Is it like you're the chill one who's like, "Theek hai, ho jayega," and she's like, "Nahi, karna, ye karna."
No. At that point, I was producing, so I was not at all chill.
And I'm directing, so I'm very chilled.
Oh wow, huh?
Yeah. I'm not hectic as a director. I love being on set. It's my playground. So I'm actually very relaxed on a set. I work with an incredible set of people. Incredible crew, so an incredible producer. So basically, there's no stress, so to speak. Everybody's prepped, and it's just easy.
Wow. Okay, tell me. So when you see these 7 kids together, right? I can call them kids because we've been around for quite a while, right? What is that thing that really drives them? Do you see that spark in them? It says, we need to conquer, or they just trust themselves in your hands?
I mean, there's a different mood on a different day. Also, every day you don't wake up and say, I'm going to conquer the world. And every day you don't wake up and say, I'm going to take it easy. It depends on where they're at, what the mood is, what the scene is, what they felt like, how did the rehearsals go. It goes up and down. They are very excited. They love what they do, and they are incredibly hardworking, and they have an innate talent. So I have very high hopes for all 7.
What about you, Reema? You know, sometimes you actually end up learning from newcomers. You know, you think you know it all. When I say not you, but we. Yeah. And then suddenly you find these 7 kids on the block and you're like, my God, I'm taking this away from them. What was that?
I think their enthusiasm, the earnestness that they approached, I mean, there was a wide-eyed wonder to all of them. You know, Mihir, of course, has worked before, but the rest of them, this is like the first time. And I think that if you can hang on to that kind of enthusiasm, instead of getting jaded, you know.
Somewhere, I think Karan Johar had mentioned that you had to wait for a while. You didn't want to compromise in your principles, your values, because you felt you had to.
That was luck by chance.
He said that you waited because you said, I'm not going to compromise on my values, my principles, and you waited for a while as well. Was that the toughest phase in your career, or is there some other tough phase where you kind of pat yourself on the back and you say,
No, I think that was the toughest phase.
Yeah?
And I think it wasn't that much about, values. It was about what you wanted to put out into the world, what you wanted to say, what kind of films you wanted to make. It was a different time. I think today, if I wanted to make Luck by Chance, it would be very easy to do it. Today, actors would jump on it, you know. But at that time, it wasn't like that. It was a very different mood. So I think that was, and it was very difficult because at that time, till you direct, you don't know if you can direct. You know, you don't know till you make a film if you can make a film. So, and you also don't know if you like it. The point is, do you enjoy the process? Do you want to spend your life doing this? You don't know any of those things. So there was that sense of, I don't know if I can do it. And then when you have rejection in there, you don't know where you stand, whether you should stick with it. So that was, I think, for me, the toughest phase of my career.
Do you, sometimes people say they do a film, say like the Archies, and you said, I have directed it, I've produced it, I've thrown it into the world, and that's it, that's my job. Or are you both the kinds who probably wait at midnight and say, tomorrow morning is the D-Day, or do you just surrender?
I go from both.
We oscillate.
I oscillate, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, now my job is done and I've put it out into the universe and now it's the audience and now it's theirs. But that also is the completion of the cycle, because you could make a film, but till it's not seen, I feel the cycle's not complete. It has to reach the audience. It has to reach where it was finally made for the cycle to finish.
You don't make a film just to make a film.
You know,
make a
it
film
has
for people
to
to watch.
reach its audience for that cycle to be completed. So yes, there's a part of me that says, okay, it's done and now I should relax. But there's a part of me that's like, I want to know the last thing. Yes, so it's both.
So when I see Suhana, Khushi, Agastya, obviously they are young kids. They're out into this world of entertainment, which may not be that simple. It has its roller coaster rides. Do you think they were mentally prepared before they came and said, I know what to expect? Or they just started fresh on a clean slate without thinking about the backgrounds where they come from?
I think some of the kids were performers already, like Dot. She is already a performer, whether it's in music. Vedang was a musician coming up. Mihir was already an actor. Suhana and Khushi came from a background that they had seen their families in the business. So I think there was a part of them that was already ready a little bit to come in front, be in the limelight. And it's still new. So there's a lot of stuff that's unexpected that they're going to have to take in their stride, you know. You're never fully, I'm not fully prepared. It's my 5th film. So yeah, it's going to be a process. You learn along the way.
So everyone has that Chakti India moment in their lives, right? Where your mentors sit together and they either do a huddle or they said, you know, this is it. Did both of you have this kind of conversation with all 7 of them and say, you know what, this is it? Did you have that kind of thing?
You do have certain conversations. You have certain workshops where all of us were together and we spoke about things and we said, yeah, you know, let's do it. But I think the conversation will come once it's out, before it's coming out.
I think our huddle was the kickoff party.
Yeah.
The kickoff party.
Before
you really had a
shoot.
party.
Yeah.
Before the shoot, yeah.
Before the shoot, we had a love fest, and I think before the film comes out, I think it'll be time for one more.
One more.
Yeah.
So when you have these parties, what is the agenda? Is to just make them feel at ease with each other and tell them, you know what, there are no barriers between us?
We cannot be making them feel anything.
And
they are very at ease
it's
with each
really
other.
for the cast and crew to get to know each other. You're going to be working together very closely for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 In our case, because of COVID, it became a bit longer, you know. So it's just a way to familiarize people and
to break the ice.
To break the ice. And everybody, you know, every department is completely passionate about their department. And it's nice for everyone to just come together and kind of bounce off that.
So if I told you, what is one thing that you really saw in each one of them that made them stand out? I'm sure there are a lot of qualities. So I'm going to take all the 7 names. What was that one quality of Suhana which you really felt was, this girl's got it in her?
I think she's brave. She's courageous. It takes courage to let your emotion go in front of a camera. And she has that abandon in front of a camera.
Khushi?
I mean, in terms of Betty, there was a sweetness and a kind of almost like and I think Khushi had that.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, like a vulnerability and just a sweet, good person vibe, you know.
I really had some sense of attachment to Betty in those days also. We've all had. And I could actually feel that this is Betty. I really meant that. So kudos to both of you. Agastya?
Innocence. Innocence, sweetness, clean.
Vedant?
I think swag.
Swag.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like literally like this?
Swag, yeah.
Wow.
No, and he's a good actor. He's a terrific actor also.
I'm sure. I mean, I've been told that you really put them through a grind when it came to the auditions as well. Was it like that?
Yeah.
Okay, coming down to Yuvraj.
Yuvraj is just insanely intelligent and articulate and analytical and everything Dilton is.
Aditi?
Supremely talented, and I think she had Ithal's vibe.
She has a quirk.
Yeah, she has a quirk, you know, because she's not an actor. Zoya literally, you know, was her fan, follows her on YouTube, was reaching out for her for music, and then I think in the middle of the call decided, wow, maybe we should test her for Ithal.
Yeah, you know, you've also said somewhere that Suhana has the singing voice, right? Didn't you want to use her to sing in this film as well?
You'll have to wait and watch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're going to spring a surprise at us?
Maybe.
Wow. Okay, Mihir.
Mihir is a chameleon. He can do anything.
I remember I used to be in Lucknow, right? And I used to read the Archies. And I actually insisted to my mom saying that I want to have burgers the way Jagged did. And my introduction to Jagged and burgers was burgers because of Jagged, right? What was your flashback of that? Of the Archies Digest, the comics, where you say, this is an integral part of my life?
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, it was not just my sister and me, but my dad was an Archies fan. So when we got the double digest, my sister and me would fight about who would get to read it first, and then my dad would come and bully us and read it first.
We've all had the fight for the digest at home as well, yeah?
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, it was just all of it. It was just an ideal world. It was an imaginary place that you went to every time you opened that book, for me. So you opened that little comic book and you were in Riverdale, and it was this imaginary place where everything was fun, everything worked out, everyone was, you know, even the biggest problems were solvable. It was just, I mean, and the milkshakes look amazing. You know, everything was nice.
Farhan's written the dialogues as well, right? And Farhan has this ability to make it very spoken dialogues. You know, you don't even know whether dialogues have been written as well. And that's beautiful. It's like an actor acting, but you don't even realize he or she's acting, right? Do you give him that sense of direction, or you just let him free?
No, we had written the script earlier, and there was certain dialogue that Aisha Divitri had put in. She's the co-writer on the film, and I had put in, and Reema had put in. Of course, we had an English draft. So Farhan had a blueprint to go with, and he's just got an ease with language in that way, you know. And it's very important for films like this, that where you don't have that hardcore dialogue bazi, because that's not the tone of the film. It's a very different kind of film, and you need that easy lingo to come in and go out, and he's perfect for this, you know. So he takes the blueprint, but he makes it his own.
If I talk about college memories, right, I can't talk about much because I kind of struggled through my college. failed multiple times, finally a proud 49.6% political science graduate. But I had this deep sense of wanting to be a rock star on stage and have a band. And I was terrible at it, but I knew one thing is to air guitar, like and all that. What were your aspirations in college? Did you also have that whole, I need to have a band, I need to do this, get out of a bike with a leather jacket kind of thing?
No, I wanted to be a filmmaker.
You knew it from day one?
Yeah, I knew that actually, when I was in class 9, I bunked school and went and watched Salam Bombay. And that film kind of changed my life in that sense.
What about you?
Me also, I wanted to be, by college I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be a writer and I wanted to make films. But having said that, I have no musical talent. I love music, but I have no musical talent. And I do have some secret dreams where I come back in the next life as a rock star.
So when you say you don't have musical talent, that's the feedback you've got from people, or you give it to yourself?
No. People have
told me. People have told me you can't say.
Yeah.
Like don't.
In fact, we had some kind of a karaoke party, and like Zoya's like, you're truly my best friend because you're the only person who's worse than me.
Yeah.
Wow. Listen, do you want a superiority complex? Hear me sing. You'll feel on top of the world saying, you'll
Go
feel,
on then.
Yeah?
Go
Come
on.
on. Don't embarrass me now. Yeah. But when you look back, both of you genuinely are rule breakers. And I think it comes very effortlessly to you all. Which was that one rule that at that time, which you were kind of doing and people saying, Reema, don't do this. Don't do this. Maybe the audience is not ready for this. Maybe the world is not ready for this. But you just followed your heart. What would that be?
I guess my first film, a lot of, and at that time, because multiplexes were coming up and the corporates were coming to the film world, there were a lot of people looking for scripts and a lot of people read my script and gave me meetings because I had worked on films like Lagan and Dil Chahta Hai. But Honeymoon didn't excite them, I think because it was too alternative at that point. So I got a lot of, why don't you make a female Dil Chahta Hai?
And have you heard something like this?
Yeah, of course. It took me that long for my first film because it was the same thing. And everybody at that point was looking for a love story, I think. We very lucky that we had people that backed us, that said, okay, let's do this. This is something fresh and these are new voices and let's do it. And you have to give that credit to Ritesh Sidhwani.
Is it intimidating when you have the kind of family that you have, because they know everything about cinema, they know everything about films? Does that make you nervous when you show them your work?
Yeah, firstly, what's the first thing to understand is, and they know themselves, is that they don't know everything about cinema. I think that's the thing about cinema, because it's like culture. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. The mood changes, the vibe changes, the generations move. Everything just keeps shifting. Technology. So you don't know everything, and they are open to seeing, open to believing. The one thing that's remained constant, I think, in storytelling is human emotion and spirit. And I think that's what they tap into, and that's what it's about, which is how your movies can cross boundaries and cultures and languages, because the human emotion has remained the same. We can watch a film made 80 years ago and still feel something. I think that's what you have to focus on, and I think that's what at least the people in my family focus on when watching a film.
Sometimes, filmmakers with their actors have an emotional bond, and sometimes they don't. They come, they do their work, and they realize the project is over. You move on to the next one. Did you have an emotional attachment to these 7 kids as well, Reema?
Yeah, I'm very fond of them, and we are actively developing work to work with them again. So yeah, we are, you could say.
What about you?
Yeah, of course. Definitely. And it's not just the 7 of them. There's also Moose and Midge. So I would say 9 of them. I definitely have a bond, and I mean, whether we work together, we don't. I would love to work with them again, but whether that happens or not, they'll always, I'll always have their back, and I know they'll have mine. Yeah.
And we've got your back too.
Yeah.
Because of the phenomenal films that both of you have. And what I really appreciate is you've been true to your art, your craft. And this day and age when people can get corrupted with a lot of dynamics, you stay true to yourself. And that's what I admire about both of you. So thank you for being...
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
These two ladies filled with girl power. And thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.